Hello, party people. Wow, way less people this. By the way, I had like 75 or 80 people on last time. Nobody likes a train wreck more than stock investors, huh? I think that's the most people I've ever had on in any live YouTube. And of course, it's when I lose the most money. But now we're just back to me being a putz. So there's nothing exciting to see here. So I get 18 of you. My favorite 18 people, though. Anyway, I had to do another YouTube because shit's just too weird. This is just too strange. And I want to come on here and talk about it. There is still no 13D from TDR. Okay. And I have not found a situation historically where a majority or controlling shareholder has bid for a company, the process has died, and they have not filed an amended 13D that day, or in one case, it was the next day. Okay. And the SEC rules before 2023, where you have to file any material change promptly, quote unquote, promptly. But it changed in October of 2023 to within 2 business days. Now, we can argue when the business day was that something materially changed here. It likely was Tuesday, not Wednesday, when we found out at 6:45 in the morning. But even if you use Wednesday, obviously Friday would be the absolute latest they could file the 13D, which means we're going to get something in the after hours today. I, for the life of me, can't come up with why they did not file yet. They could have filed on Wednesday and certainly could have filed on Thursday if all they were going to say was, we have withdrawn our 1080 bid and we will continue to monitor our position. In fact, let me read to you what they said in 2021. In 2021, on March 30th, they filed their 13D. Sorry, let me pull this up. On March 30th, they filed the 13D. That was the same day that the company issued the press release and earnings that morning saying that the bid had been withdrawn. Okay. And in the 13D, on that March 30th, again, the same day, they said on March 29th, 2021, Arrow Holdings withdrew its previously announced non-binding proposal to acquire all the outstanding shares of common stock. Arrow Holdings may in the future consider other transactions involving the issuer. It's very simple. You don't have to make it complicated. So they could have put that out on Wednesday. They could have put that out on Thursday, and they certainly could have put that out Friday morning. And they have not done so. Now you can ask your question is, do they have to update the market? Well, every situation I've seen, I only know of 2 or 3 other ones, 3 total. One is this one from March 2021 with the same company and the same 13D filer. It happened with Nordstrom in 2017 and 2018. There were 3 13Ds filed throughout the process, including when it died, all filed the same day or the day after. I think they were all filed actually the same day. And finally, Bally's in 2022. Bally's, the Standard General bid for the company, and Bally's killed it, and Standard General filed that day. And their filing was even more benign than this. Their filing just said, we're disappointed that the process has died, but we remain, long-term shareholders of the company. That's it. They didn't even say they would possibly do something in the future, I believe. So what is going on here? Again, it might be nothing. We might get at the end of the day this exact line that they withdraw their 1080 and they may consider a transaction in the future, or the last 48 to 72 hours, shit's going on behind the scenes, right? I don't think that they were caught off guard with the Wednesday morning press release. I'm sure the special committee said if you don't come up with your bid, then we're killing this. And TDR said, we're not coming up with our bid, and they killed it. I don't know what that means for TDR and the process going forward, though. There is a chance that TDR puts out a 13D with a new bid in it. There's a chance that TDR says that they're going to go directly to shareholders with an offer. All this has tremendous liability risk for them, though, because without the special committee agreeing to this and the majority of minority, they can argue, lawyers can argue that they're still in the company with material information. But the special committee has the same information. So that's why the special committee has to agree to any deal with a majority of minority holder. If you go straight to the shareholders, you risk all sorts of liability, especially with a company that has a contract that needs to be renewed in November. And there's also a major third contract that's outstanding that clearly all these parties know about and know what where they are with the process. There's also a third possibility, okay? The third possibility is that there is a third party and the third party bid not enough to where TDR was happy with selling to it. So everything was killed and TDR is trying to figure out how to word that in the 13D. Again, I don't know. Again, it doesn't make any sense to me. So David says they want to bury it in the Friday aftermarket, the late Friday dumpster classic. I don't disagree that it's likely to come in this. Well, look, it has to by law. Okay. They have to put something out on Friday afternoon, but not all Friday dumps are necessarily bad. I remember RCM and the 13D file, they're putting out something on Friday afternoon. That's shot the stock up. So look, my base case is not that there's going to be good news coming here. Okay. I am just very, very surprised and interested to find out what that 13D is going to say. And this isn't me just trying to grasp for straws. You could ask my friends. I was talking about the 13D Wednesday morning before the stock market opened. I said, let's see what the 13D says, because the press release is weird. Okay. The press release to me makes it very clear that TDR did propose another offer below 1080, and the special committee said no. The press release also makes it clear that they expect TDR and Arrow to do something in the future. Why put the line in about how they don't know what the future holds with TDR and Arrow? Wouldn't TDR and Arrow let them know, where they are with the situation and the process? It's also kind of a stupid statement. I mean, I don't know what the future holds either with anything. I mean, that doesn't mean you have to put that explicitly in a press release. It's almost like they're preparing for what comes next. The other thing that I noticed for the first time is that it did not say that the board of Target Hospitality unanimously voted to disband the special committee. It said the board voted to disband the special committee. There's only one TDR representative on the board. There's like 6 or 7 board members and one TDR rep. So it's definitely possible that there is hostility going on between TDR and this board. Now, they control the board if they want to. They have 65% of the business. So they can literally take the whole board and throw them all out and put in their own people. That still creates all sorts of problems for them because they can't then have their own people vote a deal in. It still needs to be an independent special committee. But they can throw out all the current board members to put in a new independent board next year. You had this figured out the other day. It is a low-quality business with annual renewals and high political risk. It's all true. But that's always been known, right? I mean, that's been known for years, that it is a low-quality business with annual renewals and high political risk. The political risk is more that it just doesn't look good. I don't think that this business is going to go away. It's different than Dilley. This is something that is congressionally mandated. So you could think what you want about a business. There's a price for anything. It's currently trading at 4 times EBITDA. It's not trading at 14 times EBITDA, right? And TDR has to exit their position. So it is a pregnancy, and the pregnancy either has to be aborted or has to, come to term. And those are the two things that have to happen here. And neither has happened yet. And it's a 13-year-old position or 11-year-old position now, I think, and going to be 12 years, next year. So I don't know what's going on. But it's very, very strange. So, but yes, my base case is that they put out a 13D this afternoon, and the 13D says very little. It just says we've withdrawn the 1080, and yeah. Why are you convinced they need to exit the position in the next 1 or 2 years? I've done the research on it. Go to their website and go look at their holdings. They have like 12 or 15 portfolio companies. This is the oldest one by far, and they tend to exit between 3 to 5 years when they put something on. All private equity funds are usually 10 years in length. So their LPs are either going to have to get this stock distributed to them, which is going to be a disaster, or they have to figure out what to do with it. That's just very normal in the private equity world. So, and also they've been showing us that they need to do something with this. They tried to take it private in 2021. This is the second time they've tried to do it because, again, they have a position that needs to be taken care of. Now, you could say, why are they taking it private if they have to do something with it? They likely would have been swapping it into a new fund, right? They have to find a clearing price that the majority minority accepts and a clearing price that the special committee accepts. And then the old fund gets closed and it goes in a new fund or a continuation fund for anybody that wants to keep staying invested in it. But they need a mark. And that's the way you have a mark. It's a publicly traded company. So they can't just do it otherwise. I have no question they have to do something with the position. Now, that doesn't mean there's a buyer for it. They tried to take it private for less than 2 in 2021. That made sense. And the current action would indicate that they're not actually taking it private at current rates. Listen, your views are very clear. And obviously the status quo of the situation is the process just died on Wednesday. So you're right. They did not want to take it private at 1080 or something else was going on there. No one disagrees. There are many things in that press release that do not make sense. Okay. They did make a bid for the company below 1080. Read the language. It says an alternative proposal that the special committee thought was better than the current public, being currently public to non-affiliated shareholders. You don't need that sentence in there if there were no alternative proposals by TDR. So they did try to lower the bid, and the special committee told them to shove it. We just don't know what the bid was. They have to try to lower it to. I think the part that you might be missing here is they have 65% of the company already. Okay. This is just about the 35% that's left. So they are very pregnant. So it's really not about throwing good money after bad. It's they have 35% left to decide what they want to do with it. And is it better to be private and try to figure out how to exit this in the next year or two? Or is it better to keep it the way it is? And those are their two options. Does TDR have to buy the whole company? Okay, they just transfer their shares to their fund. See, Jerry, that's the issue. They do have to buy the whole company. Because how would they market? If you're an LP in the old fund that has Target Hospitality in it, and TDR wants to transfer that position and give liquidity to the old holders, what price do you buy them out at? You don't buy them out at $763, right? That's not the fair value of the position just because that's where it's trading today. You need to have a clearing transaction where the market has set, that price. And that's usually through an arm's length transaction with unaffiliated people, the special committee in this case, and a majority minority vote for shareholders. It's very difficult for them to do something with this without doing something with the 35% holders. Look, what do I think is the most likely thing to happen here? It's nothing gets done for the next 3 to 6 months. I still think that. They renew Pecos, okay? They hopefully get another contract. The new EBITDA is north of 250 million, if not even higher, if they can repurpose Dilley. And they then try to sell the company, maybe only for 5 times EBITDA, right? They get 1250 or 1350 for it. Okay. You can make a good argument that if they get the third contract and a renewal, that you could place an annuity-like value on those assets. They're not going to be canceled in 1 or 2 years, maybe in 5 years, but you'll have tremendous cash flow in the meantime, and you have the assets, and you have the oil and gas business. So that to me is why I hold out hope and why I've actually bought more. I'm fully prepared to get a 13D that is benign after the close. I just want to be very clear. But I don't think that makes sense, that everything is copiatic between TDR and the board. Okay? I think there's friction. And even if that 13D doesn't say it, there's friction, I think there's friction. Is there a possibility they bypass the board and just tender between 9 and 10, for example? Also, is your Twitter still open? My Twitter's locked, but thank you for asking. I have a locked Twitter account. I don't think they could do that, okay? If they tender directly to shareholders, it opens them up to tremendous liability. Yeah, I already talked about this earlier, but you missed it. There's 2 reasons why this is a problem. First, they're in possession of material inside information, TDR is. And the reason why you do it through a special committee is that the special committee also has the same material inside information. In this case, it's about the third bid and other future bids. So if TDR goes straight to shareholders and does a tender offer in the next 6 weeks, we all are going to tender at 950. And then if they get the third bid a month later, they're going to get sued to smithereens. It's Delaware precedent law that the only way you could have a kosher transaction between a majority holder and minority affiliates is the special committee empowers it and majority minority vote. So no, I don't think they can go straight to shareholders. They could throw the whole board out, put in their own independent directors, and start all over again. They probably could call a meeting at any time. They own over 50% of the company. I think the better argument given your positioning is that the company should move to take it private, regardless of the minority holders. The company should move to take it private. I don't know what that means. Clearly, nobody thinks this should be a public company. But if there's no buyers for it, you can't do anything about it. Now, of course, there's definitely buyers at some price, whether it's 5 or 8 or 10, I don't know. But the company would probably tell you there is no third-party bid at any price. They try to allude to that, saying there was no formal proposals. That does not mean there were not indications of interest. And the board just didn't like the indication of interest, or TDR didn't like the indication of interest. Right here. Have you spoken to anyone that has spoken to TDR since the press release this week? I spoke with Gary. Is Gary the IR guy? Who's Gary? Can you tell me what he said? Who's Gary? Pull this up. No, Gary's not the IR guy. Is Gary TDR? Is he a partner? Oh, well, that's very interesting. What did you hear from him? Was it bad? What did he tell you? This has gotten interest. This has gotten very interesting. Please. I mean, if Gary talked to you, you could tell us. It's obviously public information. I'm pulling up the senior team at TDR Capital. Gary Lindsay. Yeah, he's one of the head guys. I'm waiting, Keynesian in short, as I think we all are. The two 13G guys, I don't think are too important here. They sold some stock at the end of June. I don't know how much they still own. I think they definitely would put in a stink if the price offered was too low. But again, I don't even know how much they still have. So are you not going to tell us what the guy said? You're alluding basically that he said it's all dead and there's nothing to see here. I assume that's what you're alluding. If that's the case, then yeah, please save me the hassle of wondering where this 13D is. Did you just cold call people at TDR? Or are you friends with Gary? Who would I speak to? What free cash flow does this company can generate next year with new renewables besides this one? No renewables. It's 165 is the EBITDA. 165 is the run rate EBITDA with just having Pecos renewed and the same oil and gas business with no new business. Is that it, Keynesian? You're not going to talk? Oh, sorry. Free cash flow? Probably like $1 a share, 100 million. Something like that. A tremendous high cash conversion. There should be no interest payments. Maintenance CapEx is low, like 20 million. You have a big DNA shield of whatever, 60 to 70 million. It should be very, very high free cash flow conversion on that 165. I legit cannot believe someone on this chat just said they spoke with a partner at TDR Capital, asked me if I spoke to anybody at TDR, and has now gone completely silent. Alluding that Gary loved to tell you all their plans for the company going forward before they have ever filed their 13D. Does anybody else find this odd? I don't get it. The company has never hit 100 million in free cash flow. Well, will you tell me how you think the cash flow will convert? There's only 3 or 4 lines in EBITDA to free cash flow. So start up with EBITDA, take a depreciation, tax shield against the 165. There's no interest next year. It's 0. Okay. And then you have to tax it after the depreciation. You'll get to 100. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Are there any other positions you're currently in, or is TH taking all of your brain power? I look forward to one of your overview rants. I own other stocks. You can go through I have like 50 other YouTubes. Matthias, go back through them. My other huge position is in BridgeBio, biotech, BBIO. It would be one thing if Keynes is short. To actually mention a TDR Capital partner by name, saying he's spoken to him, would make me think he has spoken to him. No? I spoke to Gary. It's also, there's an amazing amount of chutzpah to say that on a public forum. And then just goes silent. A PE head is going to talk to some random about an in-progress situation. I know. But when they haven't even filed a 13D yet with the update, I think that might be actually illegal for them to be speaking to people before they update the market. I don't know. Look, I believe he spoke to him. It's a weird thing to make up. I'd also, I don't like hearing that. What's the realistic bull case from this 13D? Join a bit late. You have to just rewatch. I'm not going to, it's like starting the movie all over again for you. when you hang up, when you're done with the YouTube, just start watching it from the beginning and you can see what the bull case is. You know, I just think it's very strange, but don't worry. Keynesian has talked to, Gary. So, yeah. If they refinanced, it would be for a fraction of the debt outstanding. They're going to be net debt, positive net cash by December 31st. So they could draw $25 million from their revolver and pay off the entire convertible, the entire note. There will be no interest next year, period. No interest payments. It's not an issue. It will be in a net cash position on 12/31. So it's like a 15% free cash flow yield right now. All right, is that it? I'm bored, especially because Keynesian threw that out there, and then now it's too much of a chicken to actually either take it back or to tell us what was said. I'm just annoyed. He was annoying last time, and he's annoying this time. By the way, do you know how negative he was on Wednesday? Was that before he spoke to Gary or after he spoke to Gary? Yeah, and then what's the corporate tax rate now, Glenn? It ain't 40%. You know, so in fact, free cash flow should be north of 100 million. Truly the funniest part about this chat is him asking me if I've spoken to TDR yet. I don't know what world you live in, but you don't call up, hi, hello, TDR Capital? Yes, this is the guy from YouTube. I'm just wondering if you put me in touch with one of your principals. Yeah, I'll hold. Hey, Gary, Matt here. This is a weird situation, dude. Can you tell me like what you bid for Target Hospitality and what your plan is over the next 6 to 12 months? I'll hold. Oh, he definitely got in my head. That's for sure. Yeah. We can both agree with that. He wouldn't have gotten in my head if he just said, I spoke to TDR. But for him to say that he spoke to Gary at TDR, that to me is impressive. All right. I'm done. We'll see what happens after the close. Again, not expecting anything, but this is a weird situation. Have a great weekend, guys. Bye.